Good morning on this Thursday here on Facebook Live. Obviously today, if you caught Newswatch 16 this morning, we are talking about the return of a community fixture in one Wyoming County community. This is a day that a lot of people have been paying close attention to in and around the Tunkhannock area, and it all surrounds the store where we are this morning. We're here at Weis Markets in the Tunkhannock area that is actually now open for business. It's been more than a month since this place has been open, but at 6 a.m. today they were trying to kind of get a sense of normalcy in this community and get things back to normal. So to find out what's different, what's changed, and really what this day means, not only for this community but for the 88 associates who work here with us, is Weis Market spokesperson Dennis Curtin. So first off, let's start about leading up to today. This has been weeks in the making since that tragedy here in June.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we certainly recognize that the events of June 8th were a senseless tragedy. And since then, what we've been trying to do is we're working with our associates. In the early days, we pulled them together. We met with them. We had grief counselors available. And we began the process of, and they told us in no uncertain terms early on, hey, when can we get back to work? We want to go back to work. We want our store back. And in the weeks that followed, we heard the same thing from Tunkhannock. Hey, this is my store. This is where I shop, and I want it back. And we've been lifted up by that support and warmth. I mean, you've seen it too. You've heard it. They want their store back. They're rooting for us. So over the past 4 weeks, what have we done in terms of the store? We've renovated it. We've all new decor. We've painted it. We've renovated the restrooms, new cases, new shelvings throughout the store. It has a different look and feel to it. And when we showed the associates their store, and they finally came back to work on Monday, we had a welcome back breakfast, and we showed them around. They appreciated it, and they're looking at us. We're ready to get started. Let's go. And that's what we get today when you talk to them. I mean, you've spoken to a couple, and then they're happy to be back. They're happy to see their customers. There was one woman who was quoted in a local newspaper talking to a county commissioner. I think her name was Judy Mead, the county commissioner. She said, "This is my store. These are my customers. I want to get back to work." And she said it better than anybody could say it.
Yeah. If you're just logging onto this Facebook Live video, we just want to recap exactly what's happening today and who we're talking with and where we are. So we're actually here at the Weis Markets in the Tunkhannock area of Pennsylvania, and it's really a memorable day for so many people, not only who work at this corporation and who work at this store, 88 associates returning for the first time in weeks, coming back to Weis Markets. Really, this is a sense of normalcy that this community has been longing for, trying to heal from those events and the tragedy that took place here back on June 8th. So for weeks they've been working to reopen the store, and as Dennis Curtin, the Weis spokesperson, mentioned throughout Newswatch 16 this morning, it's back to business as usual today for a lot of the associates. And I can tell you, being here this morning when they opened the doors at 6 a.m., a lot of smiles coming from the customers saying, finally, my Weis Markets, that's what they called it, is finally back open for business. For Dennis, for people watching this as well, they might want to know if you or the associates who work in the store are planning anything special for those 3 employees who lost their lives here on June 8th.
Well, when we brought them back, when we had the welcome back breakfast and showing the associates their store, some of the things that we discussed, proper ways to memorialize, to remember our colleagues, our coworkers, we're still in the discussion phase. To talk about it anymore, I mean, we just haven't come to closure on it, and it's just premature to say anything else.
And that's understandable. I think when you look at the store, you said totally redone. This is a Weis Markets that you guys went in and you really changed a lot of the stuff up here, and really, from start to finish, a lot of new things. You said you wanted to just revamp the entire place.
Right. Everything's painted. There's new decor. I was in the store a couple months ago, and I can tell you, it looks a lot different. The lighting's better, and they're also the fresh departments look sharper. It's a warm and welcoming store and environment, and Tunkhannock has been so good to us. We've been here for 25 years. They've been strongly supported our business. They want their store back, and we've been lifted up by them. They've been especially good to the associates who live in the region. We want to come back. We want to serve a great community. We want to take care of our customers.
Are there any changes that people should be aware of as far as hours, or are things kind of back to where they were before?
Good question. It's the same hours. We've enhanced the variety a little bit here and there. There's a K-Cup, pick your own K-Cup selection there. Produce looks really great. That's the first thing when you come in. But I mean, our point in all of this is to getting back to work, going back to work. This is a store that employs 88 people. Virtually all of them have come back to work. I mean, they're a tight-knit bunch. I mean, that's one of the things that you sort of saw early on. Yeah. That, you know, we had them together for a couple of days, and they lifted each other up. They supported each other, and you know, I talked to a bunch of them today, and they're pumped. They're happy to be back. They want to get back into that routine of serving customers, of taking care of customers. So.
And really moving forward. And if you logged onto this Facebook Live video a little late, Dennis, also, you mentioned in the beginning of this is how during that time when the store was closed and being remodeled and everyone was trying to just move forward, you said you had grief counselors available for those employees, and they were also paid.
Yeah, they were paid for the 4 weeks plus period when we were closed. They came back to work just on Monday. In part of this whole process is, and I don't want to minimize what happened on June 8th, we're always going to remember the victims. We're always going to work hard to keep their memory, to remember them well. At the same time, you know, we're continuing to sort of go on to do our jobs and to take care of customers, to be a part of the community that's supported us so strongly. I mean, it's been a moving experience for a lot of people. I mean, it's been impressive.
And I think the interesting thing, some stories you're going to see today on Newswatch 16 at noon. I should say some interviews. We had a chance. I talked to a mother and her daughter who were here, and the daughter's actually heading off to college today. She's going to look at schools, and she's going to be away for quite some time. And she said before she went away to Philadelphia, she had to stop here at Weis to see her store, the place where some of her friends even work. What does it mean to you as an employee of Weis to see this store? It's more than just a grocery store to so many people.
It means a lot. Supermarkets can be part of the fabric of a community. We try to be a locally focused company. We're based in Pennsylvania. We do a lot of things at the local level. So we hear that, and it's part of the community. And when that's disruptive, people don't like it. They want you to come back. I was talking to one person whose daughter, you know, had a lemonade stand to raise some money for the aftermath for the victims' families. She hoped to get $100. She raised $700, and everybody was surprised. But you know, going through it all, now I'm not so surprised. Now I know Tunkhannock is a tough and resilient community. We like to think of ourselves as that way. So we're pleased to get started. We're always going to remember what happened, honor their memories. But at the same time, we want to get back to work. We want to serve a great community. We want to take care of customers. That's what we do.
And Dennis Curtin, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate the help and letting us see kind of those changes you made here at Weis Markets in the Tunkhannock area. And I want to point out, by the way, today on Newswatch 16 is noon. As Dennis mentioned, a lot of the employees were really just ready to get back to work. For so many customers we even talked to, one woman said she drives past this Weis Markets every day after the gym, and finally she feels a sense of normalcy is finally able to restore and happen in this part of Wyoming County. You're going to hear from her today on Newswatch 16 at noon, and also an emotional interview for someone who works here in the deli. Her name is Nicole Johnson, and she's somebody who really just opens up and tells you the tale of kind of how employees feel today. And there's a lot of hugs that took place that we saw when our cameras weren't rolling as we're standing outside and we're watching some of these employees get out of their cars and getting back to work for the first time. And you can really see that there are strength in numbers, and a number of these employees are ready to get back to work and really to get this community back to that sense of normalcy where it was before. Before we wrap this up, I'm going to ask Eric, my photographer who's shooting this, if any questions or comments are coming in, things maybe we didn't tackle that we could answer.
Not too many questions coming in, but a lot of people are commenting that the store looks great.
Okay, so the store looks good, and as you said, it's a time for Weis Markets to continue to move forward. And you said there's no grand opening celebration today. This is really just trying to get this community back on its feet.
We're reopening. We're getting back to business. We're getting back to what we do, which is take care of customers. And when I got here, there were some bakery people, then the produce people started coming in, and they were all saying the same thing. It's time to get back to business. It's time to take care of customers. And they like their customers. They have a good relationship, and that's how good stores work.
All right, so thanks again to Dennis Curtin, a spokesperson with Weiss Markets. And just to recap, we're going to be talking more about this opening. And really, this is a fixture in a community. For so many people we talk to, when you ask them about this grocery store, they said, for me, this is more than just that. This is part of my town. And as one woman said, this is my Weiss. And you're going to hear from some of those employees as well as the customers coming in. And I can tell you, the store opened this morning here at 6 a.m. It has not been open since June 8th. So more than a month they have been waiting for the store to open. And although the doors opened at 6 a.m., there were a number of people waiting outside at 5:30 just to get back in, not only to see what things are like, but to see some of those employees and those faces they've really gotten to know over the past 25 years in this part of Wyoming County. So I thank you for logging on this Thursday, and I'll see you guys soon.